How's this for a combination? Cant hook, tunes, shoes, bubbly water, and a dress. How on earth could I have thought that this would be boring? I'm in my dress, I was going to show you my owies. So the other night, I went mountain biking for the first time of the season and climbed to the top. It's about a 30-minute climb, and then I'm going to start my descent. Fun little downhill. And as I start to go down, I hear this rattling on my bike, something from the handlebars, and I'm like, that's not a normal sound. I should probably stop and check that out. Before I could stop, my gear shifter lever came off, and it's attached to its wires to the bike. It fell, and so I'm going down a rock drop right at this particular moment. I'm going down this rock drop, the thing falls off, attached to its cable, the cable falls down and lands in front of the tire. The tire goes over it, my bike completely stops as I'm going like this, and I just went flying over the handlebars. The bike came tumbling over and smashed on top of me and then fell down the bank. And I screamed. Anyway, I got some war wounds. I got a bruise there, and I got, well, that one's kind of gone now. Yeah, okay, they're not that bad. Then there is this one, that one. My dreams of becoming a leg model are not looking so good. It was like probably 5 days ago, so they don't look that bad, but it was still a story to tell. Okay, this is how the log is positioned now, and I want to put that up at the top to make that my first cut so I know what I'm dealing with. I need to spin it, rotate it, and even though it's a light log comparatively, I figure I'll still strap it like I did previously to try to not use my body. I think this is what people were meaning with this, putting PVC pipe over top of the log stops. The thing is that the rotation of this log ideally would come clockwise, but I feel like that runs the risk of the log rolling off, and because I'm so close to the mill, I don't want to frig around with that. So I'm going to do a double spin and rotate it so that it goes towards, counterclockwise, towards the log stops, the PVC pipes, so that it doesn't run the risk of rolling off. Admittedly, it's sort of a love-hate relationship with that, with the Bobcat, because ideally, like, it worked really well before without any attachment on, and I was right up front, I could see really easily, but I had a really hard time seeing, so I was just kind of guessing. But it worked out. The blade. This blade has actually lasted me a really long time, and I'm gonna try to get through this log with it. But I really should get another blade ready. And while I have a good handful or more of new blades, I have an equal amount, actually quite a bit more, of blades that need to be sharpened. And I purchased the blade sharpener 2 years ago, specifically so that I reused blades. And so I've been grabbing new blades lately, and it's important that I sharpen the pile that I've got. So I'm gonna sharpen a blade with my bandsaw blade sharpener. Previously, I've always had the sharpener up by the house to attach it to my truck battery because it runs off 12 volts. Now that I have a power station down here, I'm gonna run it off a power station. Thank you to Bluetti for sponsoring the video. I'm excited about this one, you guys. With me, I have the Bluetti AC180T, which is part of Bluetti's Swap Solar ecosystem. In that system is the AC180T, 2 B70 batteries, and a multi-cooler. This Swap Solar ecosystem is the first of its kind, and it is honestly so impressive. It's just so ingenious. So the batteries themselves, this is one of the B70s. They call them hot swappable. So basically you can take them in and out, swapping them around as you need. You can buy multiples to have on standby to swap them, replace them, so you basically can have constant power. Each battery has 716.8 watt hours. Two of them together equals 1433.6 watt hours. Gives you a total of 1800 watts AC output capability, but if you need more, then you can use the powerlifting mode, and that gives you 2700 watts of AC output. Obviously, lithium iron phosphate batteries, they charge up to 80% in 1 hour, and they have a long battery life with over 3000 cycle charges, and that still retains 80% of the charge after that. This little baby has 9 outlets, has 4 AC outlets, 2 USB-A, 2 USB-C, and a cigarette lighter port. This has a battery management system that protects it from overcharging, discharging, and overheating. Also can be controlled with the Bluetti app. So I think one of the really cool things is that if you have interchangeable batteries, like I said, you basically would never run out of power. But the other cool thing is that it makes everything so much more portable. And I think one of the things that people are always trying to balance when picking a power station is the weight to power ratio, because lithium iron phosphate batteries aren't light. This really allows you to have more power at a lighter handle. I actually purchased this cable about a month ago on the website, and it is a cigarette port. It goes in here for the output. And I got it so that I could have a power station down by my sawmill to operate my bandsaw blade sharpener. So I just hook up, obviously red to red. The battery isn't in there, and black to black. Previously had to always take my blades up to the house. So this makes so much more sense to have it down by the sawmill. I'm having problems with the Bobcat. It won't run. It's somehow a fuel issue, and I've been working on it for the last 3 hours, and I've had someone come that knows more than me to try to help me figure it out. And in the process of trying to turn the machine over and over and over to get the fuel pumping, the battery is dead. So I was like, oh, well, I just have my power station, and with the cable that I got, we have it hooked up so it's charging battery for the machine, so we can continue to try to figure out what the problem is. Now for the multi-cooler, you guys, honestly, it's so cool. It is the world's first lithium iron phosphate battery powered refrigerator, freezer, ice maker. You do not need cables. It does not need to be plugged into anything. It literally runs off of one of the B70 batteries. You can, of course, if you want to, plug it into the wall, AC charging, but it also has its own MPPT solar charge controller, so you can hook up a solar panel directly to the fridge, and a solar panel, as long as you have sun, will charge that one battery and keep your fridge running endlessly. Sadly, it is not released on the website for US or Canada until 2025.
Bluetti is having a Prime Day sale on Amazon and their website for July 16th and 17th. All products will be at the lowest price of the year during these 2 days. As long as your purchase is over $1,000, you can use my discount code MICHYPD50 to save an extra $50 on both the US and Canadian websites, and the code is valid until July 31st.
All right, I have orientated the log so that the first pass is going to take off that part that I messed up. And here goes. Fun fact, this is going to be the first Douglas fir I've ever milled. This is where it gets to be not tricky, but you just gotta plan out your cuts now. So, anyway, I gotta flip it again. Three 16-footers done. Almost done, and my handle broke. Should I sing another song for you guys? I wanna lay me down in a bed of fur bark. Basically 5 and then 5 and an eighth. It's hard to see. I noticed with those last 3 beams that the mill is cutting off, like not at 90 degrees. Yes, you could be setting it up crooked, but I'm pretty sure I've not been. Anyway, so I just put some levels on here and something is off for sure. The mill is level, but this is not. I've had problems in the past with cuts being not square, like not a 90 degree when they should have been, and that was a belt issue. I don't think that is the case this time, just because this shows that it's off and this shows that the blade is off. So there are cables that adjust the chassis. I don't know what this thing is called. Adjust this thing. So I have had to do that before, but it's been quite a few years. So I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. I don't want to like make a bunch of bad lumber. So I think it's a good idea to spend a bit of time fixing this. Something else I talked about in a few videos ago was problems with shifting. Once I engaged the throttle, shifting of everything. And I did think about it being like, there's like, I think plastic bushings or something in here. That this is kind of getting sticky, this to the inside of this. So I actually did take some like motor oil, and I don't know if that's the right thing, but, and just kind of lubed this up because I think it's just creating friction, and that did help, but I feel like we're kind of back where it's kind of getting sticky again. So I'm gonna spray some sort of something on it, some high performance lubricant, because I think like the sawdust too gets built up on those steel, on these things. Yeah, and it just is gritty. But it seems to be good now. And here's underneath where you adjust. I did from each side. Let some down and let some up. This log is really unbalanced. It wants to roll, so I had to prop it up a bit. Kind of not looking forward to this one, to be honest. All right, here goes. First cut. It's like almost 4. I feel like this just back and forth, up and down, take forever. Just want to go try to find some safety glasses. Those are like a hot commodity that seem to grow legs, as well as tape measures. I went and bought 3 tape measures the other day because they were on sale, to just have them anywhere and everywhere, because every time we seem to look for one, they're gone. Probably mostly because of me, and to do with the glasses too. So this is all I could find, are these ones. They're not even safety glasses, but they're something. All right, here we go. As predicted, I ran out of fuel. So I went and got fuel and some safety glasses while I was out. Struggling. I feel like I'm bumping along like a sloth here, moving a lot and doing a lot, but not being very productive. Oh, the dogs are all looking at me. I've got 5 pairs of eyes. Oh, sorry. I have 4 pairs of eyes and 1 single eye looking at me, waiting for me to entertain them and go for a run or a bike ride. I had a really hard time getting this log squared up against the log stops, and this is a crucial step in order to get square lumber, so it's kind of essential to do, but it was just such an awkward log. It was just such a struggle. I could put the forklift attachment on, I suppose, but then I gotta take it off again. I'm tired of putting those things on and off. Only an hour later. It's not even 100% perfect, but I have to accept it. Pretty close. I had to shim that side. I have never struggled so much to get a log square, ever. Having problems with the Bobcat. I've been trying to get it running for the last 3.5 hours. It seems to continually have a problem with the fuel. I don't know, I did the fuel filter thing to get the water out. It started again and I got it to this spot. Now it's stuck here and it won't even start at all. And I feel like it's starved of fuel. So I did all the things I knew I could do, talk to Steve, and then Steve isn't here. So I went and got our friend Phil. Phil's the guy that gave us the logs, and Phil's been working on machines his whole life. So he's been helping me try and figure it out. We've ran the battery dead. It's the only thing. The whole point of trying to get this running this morning was because we've got Dilly, the carpenter, and another worker here taking down the rest of the deck. Just getting, having more help is just more efficient so that I can do other things too. And we need to move the hot tub so the hot tub doesn't get wrecked. And the whole point of me trying to get the machine up there was to use the forklift and get the hot tub out of the way. We could, the three of us, lift the hot tub. It's not that heavy, but why break our backs if we didn't have to? And then now I want to try to get this thing running.
Luckily, it was a fairly easy and rather inexpensive fix. It ended up being the primer bulb that failed. Now, I noticed that the primer bulb right from the get-go wasn't working right, and it wasn't feeding fuel through the filter as I was trying to drain the filter of potential water. And it always crossed my mind that that was actually the problem, not allowing fuel to go through the rest of the system. But it also could have been the fuel pump, or there's a fuel on-off solenoid switch. It could have been those two things, but luckily in the end it did end up just being that primer bulb and a fuel filter change that was needed. So machine is back up and running.
Oh, hello. It's been a couple days since I put this on. The Bobcat took like 2 days to get fixed. Not full 2 days, but just over a 2-day period. Steve came home for 1 day. He's gone again today. So we just kind of hung out and did some things, did some other things. So it's been sitting here for a bit. And yesterday I came down and painted the two ends because it's starting to crack and check and all of that, just because it's getting really, really, really hot here now. It's a scorcher. I want to do my best to mill the rest of this now while I've got a couple hours. There's been some change on what we are using this log for. I don't want to get too caught up in this, but the longer section, I have those 3 16-footers, but we decided that at 8 feet, we can join 2. So I feel like it's really important that we replace the ledger boards with really dry wood, and the hemlock that I have to mill has moisture in it still, and I feel like this dead standing Douglas fir is pretty freaking dry. So because it's going up to the house and being pushed up against the house, we've decided that, so I'm gonna try to get 3 ledger boards out of this now. I just wanna make sure that it's still relatively square. Pretty close. Yeah, it's off a little bit, but I'm gonna have to accept it. I had to bail because I got invited to go mountain biking and I really, really, really want to go, need the exercise. I bailed again. My bike really needs a tune-up. The brakes are not working right. And anyway, it wasn't that bad. I don't have too much to show for it, but nonetheless, I bailed again. And anyway, so I just want to finish this off. Get these last 3 bits of wood out of here and then be done with the video. I think this video will have content over like 2 weeks. I can't take it anymore. You guys can't take this sawmilling anymore either. Not much I can do about that. I'm hoping to find an escape and do something fun, build a little something fun. I don't care if it's a whole bunch of extra work, and that's the kind of the pointless things that I talk about. Get away from me. The pointless things, like things that aren't important, but that I want to do because I have, ideas and stuff like that. Like, wouldn't that be a fun thing? Wouldn't that be cool? So we'll see. I'm gonna try and pull something off, but let me just finish this. This bottom one is a little bit too thick, so I think I'm gonna take this one off and I'm gonna flip this one around and then skim off a little bit from the bottom. Could it be a little bit thicker? Yes, but it also gets a little bit thicker to like 1/4 of an inch extra, so I think it's it's alive. I think it's worth it, but I can just do that. Not on your time. You guys do not need to see that. So maybe that will be it. I will say goodbye for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one for hopefully something a little different. We need a change.
Till